question for Sam, go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to get to as many questions as we can, but real fast before we get started with questions, Sam, tell me a little bit about that paint scheme you get to run this weekend.
Yeah, it's really exciting to partner with a new partner that we haven't yet this year. Big Machine Records, Big Machine Label Group, and Scott Borchetta. So having those guys on the car and have them associate with us is a really cool opportunity, and it's a good opportunity for them to share a new album with Carly Pierce.
All right, so we will now go to questions, and to kick us off, we're going to go to Chase Wilhelm. Go ahead, Chase.
Thanks, Amanda. Sam, thanks for joining us today. I'm curious, you have 11 starts in the Xfinity series so far this season. What has been the steepest learning curve for you?
I mean, the biggest thing for me, going from like the ARCA stuff where you're leading pretty much every lap, or at least in the top 2 or 3, going from that to running like only in the top 10, top 15, is just learning about the traffic. There's so many more cars, so many more quality cars out there that you have to be more conscious and aware of like what's going on around you. So that was the biggest thing that I had to learn, is just my kind of like awareness, because I feel like in the ARCA stuff, I kind of got lazy over that just because there's only 20 cars and only 10 of them like are competitive with like the GMS stuff that I was in. Whereas here there's 20 cars that can win. So just learning like the traffic and stuff like that.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Bob Puckers. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Sam, with the 8 team in the in vying for the owner's title, do you try to kind of treat this like you yourself are in the playoffs to try to, try to gain some experience of how, to manage playoff situations?
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like it's a nice fresh reset button, pretty much like being able to be in like the owner's playoffs. It's kind of like a reset button. So having the confidence of coming off the last couple of weeks of having some pretty decent finishes and good running, good showings for us, kind of going into the playoffs, the owners' playoffs at least, I'm just going to treat it like it's kind of like a reset button where I can go out there and I can win one of the next 3 races and make it to the next round of the playoffs, quote unquote. So, I mean, I'm just here to kind of like learn. I mean, that's what this year was. And the success we've had and didn't have was just all learning. Part of the learning curve for me, and kind of getting this reset button, like I say, is I'm going to use that and try to hopefully go out and win the owners championship maybe.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is going to come from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thanks. Sam, as you noted, you've had a lot of success in the other series and some of the adjustments up to here. I'm just curious from a mental standpoint is how an athlete deals with having a lot of success and then coming to another level, and top 10 is now successful, whereas where you were before top 10 you'd probably be kicking and throwing things. How does an athlete handle that, especially in the middle of the season where it's probably an abrupt change in one sense for you as you're going through this learning process?
Yeah, I mean, like we've been fast pretty much every track we've shown up to. Like we had a top 5 car at Indy, we've had a top 5 car at Daytona. Like all these tracks where we finished like 10th or even worse than that, we led laps and we were up front contending for like stage points and wins like the whole day. And then some things just didn't go my way. So it's kind of like just having them positivity of like we're fast and we just got to put a whole race together. I mean, that makes me feel good because everyone knows that we're here and that we have speed and everything like that. We just got to be able to figure out how to finish every lap and finish every lap up front.
As the new guy in the series, one of the rookies per se, do you see veterans kind of doing things to you and kind of testing you and kind of giving you the rookie treatment? And if so, how is that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like Daytona was like a wake-up call where I would pop out of line to make a move because I really had nothing to lose. And like one car would come with me and then we would both fall like 10 spots or whatever until we could get back in line. So it's kind of like getting like shucked out of line at like a big track like Daytona, which I'm going to make those same moves at Talladega. I ain't going to change anything I did different because I really have nothing to lose. We're just going for the owners championship, but I'm still going to try to make the moves to try to win. But that's the only way how to do it. But yeah, I've been getting the rookie treatment. I can tell like people have been racing me hard, putting it on my door, trying to get me arrow loose at these bigger tracks and stuff like that. But I've been hanging in there pretty good. I'm trying to make a name for myself here. And I mean, we've showed up at pretty much every racetrack and been fast. And it's kind of mentally frustrating because you're fast and then people do stuff to you that like usually they wouldn't if you were like a season 3 or 4 driver. But they do it to you anyway just because you're the rookie. But we just got to put a whole race together and we'll be up front with them.
How do you respond to that in that sense? I mean, as you noted, it's kind of an initiation that all young guys do. But you've got to stand up for yourself, because if you show a sign of weakness, everybody's going to pick up on it and they're just going to keep doing the same thing. So how do you find that line of not worrying about things, but also hey, look, I've got to stick up for myself, and I don't care if you've been racing for 20 years, you're not going to do this to me.
Yeah, I mean, like most of the guys, like I feel like I have a better car than them and a better team, so I can go out there and I'll race them just based off my car. So if I give it right back to them and then I'm able to get back out front of them, I could probably drive away from them and never have to worry about them for the rest of the race. So it's kind of like just giving it right back to them and showing that like I'm not going to take anything. Like you can do it, yeah, I don't care, but you just got to expect it back. And that's what racing is. I mean, it's like it's give and take and everything like that. So if you're going to take from me, you better give some back.
Yeah.
All right. Any additional questions for Sam? All right. I think that is all we have. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.